Hey guys, Rewind Mike here with another review. First I'd like to talk about something else though. It's kind of crazy to think that it's been one full year on YouTube for me. I could still remember my first review like it was yesterday. First 30 seconds of the game takes you on a complete nostalgia trip. You'll be collecting bananas, rolling around. It's good to be back. God, did I love Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I actually love the Donkey Kong Country series as a whole way too fucking much. I have like a whole Donkey Kong collage, friggin' memorial in my room with crazy amount of friggin' memorabilia and stuff like that. The games were just so good, they looked so good, the platforming was so good, and everything about them was amazing. But Donkey Kong Country Returns was the first announcement that I was really excited for on the Wii U, you know, besides games like Zombie U and stuff like that. But the second I got the game, I knew I was going to review it right away. I wanted to, you know, make some YouTube videos because I have a very big knowledge of games and stuff like that. And when I used to work at the GameStop that I worked at, customers used to come in and specifically ask for me, you know, because they liked my knowledge, they liked the games that I chose for them to play, you know, because I would talk to them, be like, hey, you know, what games do you like? What is it that you're into? Or, you know, or I'd even know the customer because they came in a lot already, so I would kind of, you know, get a basis of what it was. But, you know, some of the customers would come in to just, like, bullshit with me and stuff like that, and, like, some of them wouldn't even buy anything from the store if I wasn't there. And my boss and, you know, my other employees would tell me this and stuff, and it was just crazy to think that people actually, like, gave a shit about, you know, what my opinion was on games and stuff like that. So I figured I would bring my knowledge onto YouTube and share it with a lot of other people. And it's crazy to think that it's been a full year. I'd really like to thank, you know, all my subscribers for subscribing to me. It really means a lot, you know, all 61 of you. And then, you know, for all the subscribers that stayed with me and didn't leave, I really, really do appreciate subscribing. I appreciate the comments you guys leave for me, you know, the likes and stuff like that. You know, I just made a Facebook page, you know, I get a little bit of traffic on there now, so it's just really cool to hear back from you guys because it helps me out a lot, but it also lets me know that I'm doing something right, you know, because like I make these videos for you guys to kind of inform you about, you know, things that you may not know about, you know, on certain games and stuff, or certain NES gems, or, you know, hidden titles that people don't know about because they were never really, you know, advertised properly, or it was by a small company or something like that. Now, I know in the past year I haven't made a lot of reviews. I think I've done about 9. I want to say I did about 8 or 9 reviews throughout the whole year. But I've been doing a lot of pickup videos on top of that. And I've been also doing a lot of Let's Plays for like indie games like I was talking about. So that I can bring them to light and show you guys what the game's all about. Because I really enjoy talking about games. I do, honestly. It's crazy. People call me a freaking nerd at work and, you know, all this other stuff. It's hilarious. I absolutely love it. But, anyway, I've dubbed this month Nintendo, Disney, Capcom month. All month long for the month of February, I'm going to be reviewing some of the greatest games that Capcom got to make for Disney on the NES. Now, these games, I'm pretty sure everybody has owned at least one time in their life and or have at least played them. So the first game that I'm going to review today is Darkwing Duck on the NES. I absolutely love this game. I hope you guys really enjoy this review, and I hope you guys have enjoyed everything that I've done throughout the year so far. And I promise to bring you some really good content coming up, and I promise that you're going to love this review. Anyway, enjoy it. Darkwing Duck is one of those classic games you don't hear many people talk about. Developed in 1992 by Capcom, it was based on the hit TV show which starred Drake Mallard, who was just a normal citizen during the day, but at night he became a caped vigilante, which always reminded me of Batman. It's another fantastic Disney game that Capcom got to work on. Boy, did they knock all those out of the park. The game was intended for children, but was well received by teenagers due to the difficulty of the game. I myself wasn't a fan of this game in my younger years because it was so damn hard. The story plot for the game seems to be something that they would have done if they made Darkwing Duck into a full-length movie. There's a mysterious crime wave sweeping over the city of St. Canard, so the mayor enlists Darkwing Duck into the shush. It is not known what the acronym means. The organization is so top secret that the acronym remains a secret as well. The mayor informs you that he thinks the criminal organization known as the Fiendish Organization for World Larceny, or FAL for short, is behind the rise in crime. The head of FAL is none other than the smooth player, always fresh dressed Steel Beak. He has hired 6 of Darkwing Duck's biggest rivals to pillage and loot the city. Let's get dangerous! It's time to clean up the mean streets of St. Canard and deliver swift justice to the group of evildoers, for I am Darkwing Duck! Based on a Mega Man engine, Darkwing Duck shares a lot of similar gameplay elements, level design, and enemy design as well. The game's controls are easy to pick up and handle, though some of the mechanics are fickle and don't always work when you want. Pressing the A button lets you jump, and pressing the B button allows you to shoot. When holding up on the D-pad, there's a nifty shield ability, but this only works if you're not moving. And holding down will allow you to dodge certain enemies' fire. Throughout the game, you can find a few special gas adapters.
Suck gas, evildoer!
Upon collecting one of these adapters, you can easily switch to it by simply pressing the select button. These shots are limited though, so to refill the power-ups you need to either find a small or large gas canister. Now the sprite for these really reminds me of the E-tanks from Mega Man as well. I never really found myself using any of them though. Real way to be better than the opposition is to be more daring. Throughout the stages there are a ton of obstacles and dangerous feats you must accomplish to get to your goal, including climbing up and jumping through ledges, grabbing onto hooks that are suspended over gaps, moving platforms that fall off of the track, and most of the time, these are incorporated into boss fights. Also, just like in Mega Man or really any other Capcom game, you can select a stage. Altogether, there are 6 stages you can select in the game. In order to unlock them all, you have to beat the first 3, then the next 3 become available. After beating all 6 stages, you locate the hideout of Steelbeak, hiding away on FAL's floating fortress, which is the 7th stage. The first area I usually take on is the bridge. Quackerjack and his henchmen are blocking the path of the construction that has been going on. As an introduction stage, it works well, teaching you the mechanics of the game and allowing you to get comfortable with the climbing and puzzle solving. The boss himself though is way too hard. The learning curve goes right out the window for that. There's a lot going on here, and with all the climbing and such, it doesn't make it any easier. Once we clear the bridge, we enter the center of St. Canard, where Wolfduck is rampaging through the city. It's up to you to stop him. This area throws some new troubles at you in the form of flying henchmen dropping bombs on you. They find the most convenient times to do this to you. Another troublesome addition to the game is the turtles. The only time you can hit them is when they throw their shell at you, leaving a small window in which you can hit them. Unlike the last boss, Wolfduck is kind of a pushover and has a predictable pattern. When leaving, Launchpad receives an SOS call from the sewers? Who the heck is in the sewers reporting trouble? Anyway, the Liquidator is on the loose and it's time to clear him out. Overall, this stage isn't too tough until the end. There are a bunch of moving platforms that you have to jump around on, otherwise you get hit by spikes. When fighting the Liquidator, you can pretty much sit back again. This is way too easy and I had zero trouble with it. Going into the woods, you investigate some weird activity with the suspicion that it may be bushroot. There are some of the toughest enemies here. I wasn't even really sure how to approach them at first. I was getting knocked around and the struggle was real. I took it nice and slow to get through here. It was one of the more pretty stages in the game with some great animation that doesn't even cause the NES to slow down. Bushroot isn't too tough to fight. At this point you should have the jumping on ledges down. It's dodging the damn tree arm throwing balls or apples or whatever they are at you that you'll have the most trouble with. It's time to take down Megavolt now. He is robbing all of the warehouses along the waterfront and only DW can stop him. I hope your platforming skills are up to par. This stage will have you testing the limits of your patience and timing. The enemies on the stage aren't really what makes it hard. It's the old school platforming, baby. Trying to take on Megavolt can be a bit of a task here. There's a lot of ledge climbing and dodging of his electric attacks, both on the ground and from overhead. This is one of the best boss fights in the game, hands down. Nothing cheap here. I find it funny that Megavolt would be hanging around water like this, being he's all electrified and stuff. Just saying. In the middle of the city, atop of the tallest tower, Moriarty is developing a new weapon that he plans on using against the city. He must really want to keep from having his plans foiled too. This is one of the toughest stages in the game. There are just so many bad guys and they are all over the place. It's hard to stay clear of one while trying to kill another. If I can, I just try to avoid them all together. Then there are these annoying ones that bounce around and shoot at you, but the only way you can hit them is if you jump at the right time to hit them in the head. Besides all the BS on the stage, you also have a ton of ledge and post climbing, making it that much rougher to get through. Moriarty is one of the more unique boss fights in this game, due to the fact that you have to deal with him and the weapon he was building at the same time. Every time you take out one of the turrets, he goes to repair it. When he does this, you have to shoot him, then move before he runs into you. Finally, it's time to put a stop to this crime wave and take down Steelbeak on the floating fortress, which is ironically just a flying luxury cruiser. You suave bastard, Steelbeak. His henchmen are dressed up in their finest attire, ready to launch cannonballs at your face. Not to mention the damn Sniper Joe things are here again. What would a flying fortress be without death pits and little rings you have to dangle from to get over? For a while I couldn't figure out how to beat this boss. He just kept dropping in flying drones and I couldn't take them down fast enough. Then I figured out a little position in which you have to get to at the start of the fight. Once you figure out how to beat the first phase of this boss, it's straightforward. Just shoot the hell out of Steelbeak until he falls. Once you beat Steelbeak, DW rides off into the night, knowing that he made a change for his city, if not just for one night. The people of St. Canard can always count on Darkwing Duck! Anyway, that was my review for Darkwing Duck. Like I said, the month of February is my 1-year anniversary on YouTube, so I've dubbed it Disney Capcom NES month. So over the next couple of weeks I will be releasing a couple more videos, and you know, I hope you guys tune into those, and I really hope you enjoyed this one because I definitely worked really friggin' hard on it. And anyway, like I said, I'm Rewind Mike, and thanks for watching, everybody.